This is Yvonne Teoh Bource from Connect Soul, here to inspire you to live your best life. So let's have a look at that, living your best life, because for me, living my best life is about living in the flow. So we talk a lot about that, don't we? We talk about synchronicity and flow, but how do we create that in our lives? And I believe that we create that through rituals, through setting intents, both in the beginning of your day and at the end of your day. And what I've realized and recognized as I listen to many teachers and mentors that I've followed over the years, that every one of them has a very strict routine in the morning and in the evening. And they have rituals. Now, what is a ritual about? A ritual is about creating a mindset. Now, this goes back to, of course, my passion of how does the mind work. So if you don't instruct your mind right from the beginning of the day, it has nothing to work on. So the only thing it can do is to re-engage what it knows, which is the past. And that is why we find ourselves so often in the same place over and over and over again, because we haven't instructed the mind or the subconscious where we want to go. And that is why rituals are so important, okay? It's really simple. If I turn on the television and I don't put it on the station or on the channel that I want to watch the particular program, I'm going to miss it because I didn't give it the right instructions. If I get in my car and I drive and I don't put it into the appropriate gear for the speed I'm going to break my car eventually. So we're the same. If we don't tune ourselves in every day into a vibrational frequency that is aligned with the best of ourselves, then we're going to be out of sync. We're not going to be driving with the right gear. We're not going to be on the right station on the radio. It'll be static because the mind is trying to figure out what you want to do or where you want to go, because you didn't give it any instructions. So creating a morning ritual that fits your life is important. There are so many people that say, well, I do this and I do that and I do something else. And yes, I'm going to share with you my morning ritual. But then I want you to consider, what can you take from that will work for you in your situation? Because, when I first started this journey over 30 years ago, I had 3 children. My youngest one was 5. My next one was 6 years older, so 11. And then I had an older son who was already in year 11, 12, who was 17. So I had responsibilities as a mother that went from kindergarten to high school and everything in between. So in those days, my ritual was very different, although not as different perhaps, except that, of course, I had to prepare the family for the day. And so my ritual had to be before then. And I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning and do what was then my affirmations. I don't call them that anymore. I call them, phrases or statements of inspiration. But I did get up every morning at 4:30 and I wrote those statements, and then I did my meditation, and by 7 o'clock it was time for me to attend to the family. So if that's your situation, then fit it in somewhere. But if you don't set your intent before you start your day or before you go to work, then don't be surprised at surprises. So what do we do in that morning ritual? Well, the first thing, of course, is to wake up with gratitude. It's always a wonderful thing when we wake up and realize we have another day of life ahead of us, which is fantastic. and we have opportunities and possibilities to improve, to grow, to enjoy, to experience, to love. So gratitude is a great thing. And then we have the next thing that for me, I get up still now at 5:30 in the morning, even though I'm on my own with my two beautiful cats. So I'll share with you my ritual, and I have shared it before, but I want to share it in a bit more depth of the reason for it. So I get up first and attend to my cats so that they don't interrupt me, and they don't, they always want to have a lot of attention. So I feed them, I make a cup of tea, I go back to bed with my laptop, and I get ready for my ritual. And that ritual consists of listening to a recording of inspirational phrases that I've written specifically for me that will guide me towards my desired outcome. So that's about half an hour, and I listen to that. And then I do my meditation, whatever that may be, and it may only be a few minutes. I'm not really a big meditator for hours and hours, but I do spend some time. I have a lovely mantra in the morning that I listen to, and that really calms everything and makes everything flow beautifully. And once I've done that, then I usually go onto the YouTube channel, and I listen to one of my mentors that is inspiring me. So I search for information, or I might search for information that I want to teach and I want to have some further education. So then I spend the rest of that time in education and inspiration for me, because I really focus my whole life on continuing to grow and to learn and to become more. So then by about 8 o'clock I'm ready to start the day. But before I actually get out of bed, I have a book of intent, and in that I can't keep saying that. In the book of intent, I write probably 3 or 4 things that will keep me in flow. And now this is what is so important. So the inspirational phrases in the morning creates my mindset. My mind is being told what it is that I desire and where I want to go. The meditation is also to train my mind. It's to bring my mind to the present, to make it calm. Then the learning, the education, again, it feeds my mind in the present time. And then, of course, comes the intent. So my intent is always to follow spirit without hesitation, to be soul connected, to be of service. Sometimes it is to be kind to me. I might feel that I've had a few really big days and I feel a bit tired. Then I always say, be kind to me. And so there are things like that. But I always say I'm open to receive all my good, or maybe I intend to have a day of ease and grace. Well, I intend that every day anyway. So those are the intents that I set in my book of intent. Now, I don't do any of that in my head. I write it down. My head's pretty empty. It's not a storehouse. It's a transmission station, so where information comes in, gets registered and is put where it's meant to go. But it's not a storehouse. So I always admire people who have this amazing thing about everything. They keep everything in their head, and then you ask them a question and they recall. Well, I don't necessarily have that, and I don't really need it. I've got Google. And but the things that I do need to know, when I ask the question in the ether, it gets downloaded straight away. And because I don't keep little things in my memory bank, it has a clear passage. So I'm very connected to what I call this massive storehouse of information that is in the collective consciousness. So that's my morning ritual, and I think that it has certainly supported me to live a really great quality of life, and therefore I'm sharing it with you. But whatever the ritual is for you, and the other thing about it, because I know that Robin Sharma, for instance, who has the 5 a.m. club, he talks about jumping out of bed and doing your exercises, and a lot of people do that, and that's fantastic. You know, I used to do that many years ago, but now I don't. But what I do is 2 things about the physicality of my body, because, you know, you've been lying down for quite a while, so you do need to get the blood pumping somehow. So I do stretches in the morning once I get up. And I always go straight out into my garden, and I do some deep breathing exercises to really fill my lungs with fresh air. And so it depends. I belong to a bush walking club, and sometimes it's a day for a walk, which means that I then get ready for, you know, a 12, 14k walk. But that's not every day. So that's my morning ritual. Now, the thing about that is, that's wonderful to create something that fits you. I don't know what your situation is, but you do. But please understand, if you don't tell the mind what to do, it has no option but to keep repeating what it has done yesterday and the yesterdays before. So that's why rituals are so important. It is to create the perfect mindset for you, to have the perfect day, for you to be the best of yourself. Now, in the evening, just before you go to bed, I do suggest, please do some gratitude writing. It is absolutely essential to be grateful for everything in your life, and go to bed feeling blessed. Some people like to do a meditation at night, which is great. Some people listen to subliminal music at night, which is great. Find your best rituals that feel comfortable and that feels like it resonates with you. Don't do somebody else's just because they say so. Pick what fits your life, okay? But whatever you do, create some really great rituals, some routine in your life. Make a sandwich of good stuff, good mind power, good mindset to fit your daily experiences in. So really, that is what I wanted to share with you today. Now, I have all of that available in my book, of course, The Secret to Life, and you'll find a link in the description box to get that. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell so that you get notified when the next not the next retreat. Why did I say that? You can learn about my retreats on my website. By the way, only one more retreat in Bali, and that will be in May next year. Again, information in the description box. So I bid you farewell. Have a wonderful day. Love yourself more. You know, it's the secret to all things good, to love yourself. Why not? You are magnificent. I bid you beautiful, beautiful experiences. See you next time.